Hello, and welcome to Positive Vibes Guides. And this is your host, Sensei. Today, we're going to be talking about the second raid boss of Tarrisland, Grufft the Ancient Tree. For this raid, you will need 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 6 DPS. Don't forget to bring health pots, mana pots, elixirs, and positive vibes. This is a 2-phase fight. Phase 1 starts with the boss in the middle of the room, and 4 flowers, 1 in each cardinal direction. Before the boss is pulled, 4 DPS in pairs must be assigned to break the beams that form from these flowers and hit the boss. Standing in the beam will prevent the boss from gaining a stacking buff that increases his damage. While standing in the beam, the players will get a stacking debuff. This debuff will give them additional damage done, but also make them take damage. A safe number that we found was around 20 stacks before they switch. The first active ability the boss casts is Nature Shock. It will target 1 to 3 random members of your raid. The members must move out of the circle before the cast is finished to avoid taking damage. Up next is an ability called Blade Barrage. Grufft will release a 45-degree fan-shaped AoE attack with a 25-meter radius. Raiders must move out of the ability before the cast goes off to avoid taking damage. Grufft also has a tank switching mechanic. Occasionally, the player with the most threat will get a small patch of thorns under their body. When this happens, the other tank must taunt, and the player with this debuff must stop attacking the boss because any attacks they do will heal the boss until the debuff expires. Grufft will also cast Wild Growth, which deals AoE damage in a ring starting close to the boss and subsequently getting further away 3 times. If any raiders are hit by it, they will take damage and will be rooted in place for 4 seconds. Special note to healers and ranged DPS, ideally, you should be positioned right outside of where the first circle will spawn. That way you can walk inside and not have to move again. The last mechanic of Phase 1 is Summon Mushroom. Grufft will summon a mushroom minion at the edge of the map that will move slowly towards the boss. If the mushroom minion is allowed to touch Grufft, he will heal a significant amount of his health. All DPS will switch to the mushroom immediately, using slows and roots to ensure that the mushroom will never get close to the boss. The start of Phase 2 will be indicated by an ability called Rage of Nature. It is a 5-second cast that deals a tremendous amount of AoE damage to the raid. Healers should be prepared to heal everybody up. Also, flower raids will end, so there will no longer be a need for DPS to tank them in Phase 2. It is also important to note that in Phase 2, Grufft is immune to damage. So all you need to do here is follow the mechanics that will be explained shortly. Grufft will next cast Green Nuts. Green Nuts is a AoE ability that hits an 180-degree fan shape in front of the boss. Everybody must move out of this ability as it will do damage when he casts it and leave it an AoE effect on the ground, damaging anyone standing inside it. Use movement speed abilities if needed to get out. He will cast this ability at the beginning of Phase 2 and every 12 seconds after until Phase 2 ends. During Phase 2, Grufft will spawn adds called Nature Guardian. These must be picked up immediately by a tank, and DPS should kill them as soon as possible. Any not killed during the duration of Phase 2 will still be alive during Phase 1 and may cause issues. The final mechanic is called Pollinate. Grufft will put a pollen debuff on a random member of the raid that lasts 15 seconds. During this debuff, that player will be taking heavy damage. It's also extremely important to note that if this player gets close to any other player, the debuff will be passed to them as well. So it's best to make room on the outside of the boss arena for the player with Pollinate to stand in. If the tank that has aggro on the adds gets Pollinate, the other tank should taunt off him and he should run to the outside as soon as possible. When Phase 2 ends, we'll be going back to Phase 1 with all the mechanics already previously described. Make sure you clean up any Nature Guardians that have not been killed and follow the same mechanics as before. The boss will alternate again between Phases 1 and 2 until he's dead. And that's it for Grufft the Ancient Tree. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. In addition, please join us in our Discord server linked below.